Oh, Pamparios, Akarina Spirit. Tatewari, Kansu Ayuda. Here's Tatewari, the great shapeshifter. Kansu Ayuda, with your help, open up the energy of the sage. The smoke to come out. It's cleansing. It's opening, purifying, and send some of that out to you. With gratitude for your life, gratitude for the medicine you carry as a sacred, worthy, luminous being of love that is forgiving, which is so needed in the challenging world we're living in. All right, hey, dropping in here, Thanksgiving. Pretty weird that our strange Western Eurocentric culture says one day a year we'll have Thanksgiving, and the rest of the days we can forget about it. Maybe that's why we have some of the problems we do, because it seems to me every day that I'm alive, every day that we're alive is an opportunity to give thanks to the source of where our life comes from. So taking time, being alive right now, dropping down inside the container of our physical bodies that our spirits live in for the time of our life walk, dropping down awareness, the gift of our awareness, down into our containers. And best, as I'm saying this to myself, put my feet flat on the floor and straighten up my spine so the energy can flow through, up and down, through all the chakras, through all the sephirot, through the whole pipeline. The energy can flow from above and below and around into the center of our own hearts. Opening that gift of our awareness to the truth that we're being breathed in this moment. The creative powers of the universe that create the energy that we call oxygen, life force energy. Other cultures have life force energy, ki, Japanese, breathing in ki, breathing in chi, Chinese. Orenda from Turtle Island. Kupuri from the Huicholes. Mana from Hawaii. Different words for the life force flowing into us, bringing it down into our hearts. Opening, softening, softening, opening, and feeling into our hearts. See if we can bring our awareness right down into that place in our chest where we can literally feel bump, 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 your own rhythm, bump, bump, of the drumbeat of the heart working 24/7 for us, non-stop, as long as we're alive. Our cortisone, our hearts, working to pump out that life force and send it out through our bloodstream and energize our bodies, our being. Opening to receive, open, receive, open, receive, love's healing flow. Letting it go where it needs to go, bringing through its healing flow. I don't know about you, but today had some frustrations for me, some health challenges in the family, some other challenges with technology, and I noticed my gut still a little tight, my shoulders, neck, still a little tight. So I'm just breathing into those places of tightness and letting go. Thank goodness, thank Goddess for the gift of the out-breath. Thank you for the wondrous creative wisdom power of the universe, source of all. Thank you for the creative wonders of these physical bodies that our spirits live in. Gratitude for all the powers of physical and physiological and energetic and cognitive functions that deeper wisdom inside of us does 24/7, aided by the pumping of life force that our hearts are doing for us right now. Taking the time to ground down into Mother Earth, to settle, to let our bodies, our energy bodies, settle, relax with presence. So relaxing, not going limp, staying present, but without tension, without force. Relax with presence. And open, gently open. Catch the waves, catch the energetic waves of life flowing in, moving through us, activating those wondrous processes that promote health and healing and restoration of life, and the letting go of what needs to go with the out-breath, the wondrous design of our bodies to be able to release with every out-breath energy, tension, tightness, constriction, inflammation, thought forms of limitation and negativity, of judgment, of shame, of guilt, just noticing. And noticing with awareness if any of that doesn't serve our deepening connection with the peace that lives at the center of our being, we can breathe out and release and let go. Thank you for the gift of the out-breath. And with eyes closed, there's no separation. There's no thing to see, no separation. Energetic field of oneness, everything connected. And so too on the deeper ground level of reality beneath all physical manifestation of material that we see. The underlying infinite ground of the creative wisdom power of the energy in which there's no separation. Total unidos, all united. Aloha, sacred unity. And in that field, we are receiving support energy from our ancestors. We struggled hard to survive and pass life on, so we could have our turn, which we have now. They want our lives to work, sending us support, and we can send gratitude back to them and send healing prayers to them. Opening to receive. And opening awareness to connect with the ancestor spirits of the land where we live on. the ancestral people of the land where we live. Prayers for those ones. Gratitude. Gratitude for family, for friends, for teachers, for healers, for people we have opportunity to love. Send kindness to and caring and support. Because who walking this Mother Earth now in these days doesn't need support, encouragement, strength, love, kindness. And we have all the resources we need at any time in our lives of being alive to be able to access those resources by following our breath down into our hearts, opening our hearts and setting up that energetic pipeline from our hearts to those ones we're praying for. Dear friend, today had a craniotomy to take out some of a tumor in her brain and to see whether it's treatable or not. And her brother died several months ago of the tumor that she may or may not have. And so prayers for good results coming out of that craniotomy, and for her family going through their, suffering and fear. And we all know people who could use some healing, light, and love right now. So just taking a moment to be with our experience of being breathed. Thank you, Creator, for the gift of this life you breathe into us. Thank you for the gift of our human incarnation, where we get to experience the full circle of all that can happen in a human life. And we get the opportunity to wake up and remember we're way more than our ego identity and its stories and our identification with our physical body. We're way, way more. And opening up to that way, way more. And thank you for the opportunity with technology and for Brother Roger bringing us together with this technology. And for those who will be viewing later, those who are here now, everyone, thank you for your life. Thank you for the blessing that you are, and blessings on your life. Gratitude, Creator, for sacred right now. And for the gift you give us of responsibility. You give us the ability to respond consciously and skillfully to whatever the challenges are in our lives and to whatever's triggered inside of us and our reactivity to those challenges. You give us opportunity, if we do the work, to slow down and really be present with focused awareness to experience the gentle inflow of life force energy, to be able to make conscious choice. How might I respond to whatever's been triggered inside of me in a way that helps me grow in the direction I want to grow? Those qualities of consciousness and being that I would like to have grow stronger, blossom, fullest blossoming, greatest good in my life. What are those qualities? And by asking that question, how can I create a response to the truth of what I'm experiencing in the moment in a way that does grow me? I was talking a little earlier today with a young man who I've known since he was a little boy, him and his older brother, two beautiful young guys who know since they were kids. And unfortunately, his brother, one of the brothers, died a year ago. Healthy, vibrant, dynamic, beautiful young man, just like that. Boom. Here and gone. And so periodically I spend a little time with his brother, and it's almost a year anniversary since the crossing. And so we were sharing about 2 hours ago. And so much triggering in his life with the anniversary of his brother's death. And so we were looking at using that question as a tool, as a consciousness alteration tool, that question of how can I create a response to the truth of what I'm feeling and experiencing in the moment that grows me. So I use what's happening to help me grow in the directions I want to grow. He was also talking about his little 2.5-year-old son when he has temper tantrums and throws stuff and yells and screams, and he loses his patience. And one of the qualities of consciousness he wants to grow in his life is patience, as it is in mine, which is really letting go of ego's timing and opening to spirit's timing. And so in the work we were doing about how he could create a response to the impatience triggered inside of him, the reactivity when his son's acting out, is to ask himself the question, how can I create a response to the truth of what I'm feeling in a way that grows me, that I want to grow? And one of those qualities of his intention statement is to grow more patience. So it opened up an awareness that his son was actually being a teacher for him, pushing those buttons to give him opportunity to work on patience, because then it's real. When we're impatient, that's the prime time to work on strengthening the muscle of patience, letting go of the suffering that comes from the attachment to ego's timing. And when ego's not getting it, it's quote unquote impatient, irritated, pissed off, frustrated, angry. Wake up sign, I've been stuck in the constricted identity of ego, giving all power to ego to run the show, and it's not getting what it wants. It's having a hissy fit. No judgments about it, part of our humanness. And how can I create a response to the truth of what I'm experiencing that grows me in the directions I want to grow? So just letting all of that sink in, however it sinks in and brings up whatever it brings up for you, and the wisdom and beauty of your awareness and being alive in the moment, and taking a deep breath in, letting it out, opening our eyes if you want, and coming back into visual contact here, and gratitude for seeing everybody who's here. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to be seen. So, I'm right in the middle of my integration process with the medicine that came back from the coming back from the Vision Quest, and I'd like to share some of that with you. And I'm seeing Sister Stacy here and Sister Wendy, who are with me there on the quest time. It's good to see you, and Brother Marcus. We missed you being there, and Roger's been on quest before, and Brother Hefe's been on quest before, and we're all on a quest. We're all on a quest to try to wake up and live love alive in 2025. So here we are. All right, so let me read something that came through this morning when I was in meditation, kind of start me off sharing what some of what I experienced and came through the quest. And I think since we're all, as human beings, we all have the same needs. We all have the same needs. The experiences I had on Quest, I think might and how I was tested by them and pushed by them, and what work I did when I woke up and was conscious, that opened the doorway to some medicine that hopefully might be able to help you in your challenges. So here's what came through this morning. See if I can read my writing here. Phone ringing. Pick it up. It's Mother Earth, the Great Spirit, your own soul, who says, I have all the answers you need. You just need to listen to me more. So pack it up. Get out of town. Vision Quest time. Head to the desert. Big power, big space, silence, simplicity, solitude. Get busted open, deepening, expanding. forces consciousness to what is, pipes exposed, humility posed, reactivity triggered. See and be, get free, do the work, get the gifts, praise, gratitude, give joy. It's a trail of tribulations and tears and tests. It's also a trail of magnificence and joy and beauty and love. Both and. Can't have the light without the shadow. Can't get found if you don't get lost. Sense, feel, look, see, remember. I'm a sacred, worthy, luminous being. I am love, and my love is for giving. So, get out to the beautiful desert. Thank you, Great Spirit, for giving me another year to be able to get out to this beautiful desert. I just wrote something up this morning and sent it out to some of you, and some of you will get it next week about why I love the desert. So I'm not going to go into that here, but I do love being in the desert. And it holds such silence, to be in solitude in the desert, and the simplicity of reducing life to just your basic needs and living right there on Mother Earth and under the sky, and with the sacred fire there for ceremonies before everyone goes out for their time of solitude fasting. The stars at night and the sunlight, the sunrise in the morning illuminating the desert, and that deep silence and that deep power of the desert. So I'm so happy to get out there with the relatives. And what are we experiencing when we get there? Huge wind, huge, powerful wind that I'm about 150 pounds, and sometimes those gusts would come strong. It would knock me backward. I'd have to ground myself to not be knocked over. I was afraid Wendy, who's a little smaller than me, might get blown away. It was that powerful kind of a wind. And when I went to set up my tent, it wasn't my tent, it's my daughter's tent. I used it once before a year ago, but I forgot to set it up. I was going to try to practice setting it up and reacquaint myself with setting it up the week before Quest, but again, there were family health emergencies that I had to deal with, and it was rain, so I didn't get a chance to set the tent up. So we get to the site. First task is carry our gear up to base camp, set up your tent, set up your shelter. The wind's howling, and I'm a little kind of nauseous, kind of a little bit out of it from a retreat I did in Palm Springs that weekend. Retreat medicine was great, but just sleep dead and whatever. I'm a little verstubed and trying to set my tent up, and lo and behold, I find out when I get into my sleeping bag that night, and the wind is just howling. I mean, it's really just howling, and gusts come, and it feels like almost like a tornado. And it did, in fact, carry one person's peg tent up and swept it over down into an arroyo. Unfortunately, another brother on the quest was able to see where the tent was and retrieve it. But it was that kind of power of wind. And when I got into my tent, I immediately noticed that the side of the tent that I was sleeping right next to, when one of those big gusts would come, it would push the wall of the tent right into me. So it was like there was no room for me to breathe. I'm getting smothered by the wall of the tent. Now that's not supposed to be happening if the tent is set up right. And that's when I realized I basically fucked up trying to set up this tent. It's totally wrong. And there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to have to keep putting my hand up here to hold the wall of the tent off my face so I can breathe when the gusts come. So what's the dynamic? What's the underlying dynamic that's taking place here? I'm getting humbled. Humility is coming through in the face of this big power that's way bigger than me. And I can feel with the intensity of that power, that's just a small little taste of what the universe is capable of creating. A tornado, a hurricane. This power that I'm feeling that's impacting me and pushing my reactivity buttons. And I screwed up the tent. It's a pain in the ass. I'm gonna have to be the whole night here. I'm not gonna be able to sleep. And so I'm creating suffering in my response to reality of what's happening. And therein is the humbling. So one of the first dynamics is going out to on a spiritual retreat of any kind. If you want to receive something that has the potential to be meaningful and helpful in your life, you got to let go of the ego's holding on to whatever it's holding on to. So humility is being forced on me by this big power. And in my reactivity to that big wind, then I'm initially resisting it. I'm angry about it. I want it to stop. That wasn't happening. It just kept pounding through the night. So it brought my awareness to, again, the reminders and the benefits and the fruits of having a daily practice where we start off the day by putting our attention into those qualities of consciousness and being that we want to have grow stronger in my life, in our lives. So I'm reminded as I'm struggling and resisting and angry at the wind and you do have another choice here, Tomas. Gentle tap on the shoulder. You do have another choice here beside resisting. You can surrender into it. You can open to that greater power and let it flow through you and use it to do what you want to do. Use that greater power to use what you want to accomplish with help from that greater power. What do I want to accomplish? I want to experience and accomplish trust in the process. Trust in the wind is doing its thing. It's helping me open up and humble. It's helping me let go of my plans, of my comfort zone. It's helping me to open to a power that's bigger than mine and explore creatively, how can I create a relationship that I'm allying with it instead of it's an enemy. So dynamics of humility, dynamics of surrendering into power that's bigger than us. When dawn finally comes the next day, the wind does not stop. It's and I realize I can. There's no way I can reset my tent with this wind because I've got everything spread out inside the tent now, my medicine stuff, my sleeping bag, my this, my that. And if I undo the tent and the rain fly and open the tent up, everything's going to get blown away. So I've got two choices here. One choice is I can just leave the tent the way it is and know I'm going to go through the whole 6 days and nights if the wind keeps up, not getting much sleep. And having to sit in owning that the tent not working is my doing. More humility, eating more humble pie. Or another choice is I can ask, I need help. If I'm going to write this tent, I can't do it on my own. I need help. And it's going to take 2 or 3 people holding this, that, or the other part of the tent to be able to take down a certain part of it, correct what needs to be corrected, and without things being blown away. So I have to make a decision. My ego mind says, well, do I want to bother other people here to help me set my tent up? It's my failure. I'm the one who messed it up. And do I want to bother other people to help me set up what's my mess? So I had to sit with that with a while, more humbling. Say, yeah, I'm not willing to sit with this mess for another week here. And so I asked some people to help me, and they did. So asking for help, recognizing that contrary to the Eurocentric conditioning in our culture, especially for males, but I think it impacts women also, be independent, be strong, do it by yourself. Don't show weakness or vulnerability that you need help. All these poisonous thoughts and beliefs. Because the reality is we're all connected. We're all connected. There's no such thing as separation. So being able to ask for other people gives them opportunity to give of themselves and Don't be attached if they say yes or no, but go ahead and ask. And the chances are, if you ask in a good way and you're with good people, you're going to get help. That's my experience anyway. So I got help, got the tent set up. Now I'm grateful. My tent works. Release, peace, and gratitude to people helping me. Okay, so let's see, moving on. So grateful. Later in the day, people go out to scout the land for a place of power that calls them. For the following day, they'll go out for their 2 days and 2 nights, time of solitude. So while people are out scouting through the beautiful desert, and I'm sitting by the sacred fire, and I have a conversation with Great Spirit. And the conversation goes like this. Thank you for being here, of course, and thank you for all of us being here safely, and thank you for good prayers, for good medicine for the people finding good sites that call to them, and the spirits of those places that have medicine for them that can help them in their lives. And oh, by the way, if it was possible, I'd sure like to have a calming of these winds. I sure would like. I'm just going to own straight up front. This is what I'd like, a calming of these winds, so we can have our ceremonies tonight. We can have our ceremony tomorrow morning for people going off, because if these winds continue, we're not going to be able to have our ceremonies. So that's what I would like. I'm just saying it up front, owning this is what I'd like. And I know in truth that the calming of the winds, well, personally, that's what my ego would like. I don't know that that's for our greatest good or not. I do not know if it's for our greatest good or not. So I surrender to the weather that serves whatever it is our greatest good, and the medicine that's available for us here that you brought us out to connect with in the solitude, in the silence, and in the simplicity of being still here in this beautiful desert. And then I let go. I just let it all go, and the winds just keep wailing around, and I go on with my prayers, and I love just being there. You know, I'm bundled up, and I'm trying to not get blown over by the wind, and I'm just appreciating the beauty of the desert. I'm just, everywhere I look, to me, beauty. Everywhere I look, there's living conscious beings, the rocks, the boulders, the mountains, the desert, the cactus, the everything that's there is alive and communicating. And the longer I'm still and open and paying attention, the more it opens up, and I'm able to receive what it's communicating. So I'm, even in the winds howling, I'm still just joyful to be there. And after, I don't know how much time, hours of being there, taking in the beauty and doing prayers for people, I suddenly noticed something. And what do I notice? The wind has stopped. I said, holy shit, man, the wind has stopped. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, this is incredible. Thank you, Great Spirit. And immediately I said, don't be attached. It can start any moment again, but it's not here right now. So just opening to it. And so I felt such gratitude for this prayer answered. And the process, it underlined the process of prayer for me that may or may not be applicable for you in your own prayer work. Own what it is that I'd like. Own the truth of what it is I want, whatever it is. And pray for it. But hold it in the larger context of what I want, what my ego wants, might not necessarily be what's going to truly serve fullest blossoming, greatest good for myself and whomever or whatever the situation is I'm praying for. So in the one, it's like two-hand work. You know, if you're in a boxing match, you don't want to have one hand tied behind your back. You want to have both hands available to take care of business. So one hand, do the prayers for what you want and hold it in a larger container of honoring the truth. And I don't know if that's for my greatest good or not. And I surrender with faith and trust to whatever is for greatest good here. And then I'm put on the spot to pay attention to what happens, whatever it is that happens. And if it is what I prayed for, great, wonderful, gratitude. If it's not, then open to the waves of energy that's coming from what I don't want, like that big wind, and open up the deeper wisdom for guidance about, well, how can I create an ally relationship with the bigger waves and winds of what's happening that isn't what I wanted from my ego perspective, but it's happening. So trusting, Great Spirit knows what it's doing, knows what she's doing. So opening, surrendering, paying attention. The next day, the winds stay calm. We're able to do our ceremonies that evening, the giveaway ceremonies. The next morning, sunrise ceremony, clear morning. The winds are calm, and it's the pre-dawn in the desert on a clear day. It's mind blowing. It's just unbelievably beautiful how it all starts to light up before the Father Sun comes over the mountains there in the east, the mesas in the east, and then when Father Sun comes up, the magic of lighting up the universe on Mother Earth and the beauty of it all. And so we do our sunrise ceremony and give everybody some going away medicine for their quest, and everybody takes off. And now I'm in bliss because I've got my solitude time. I've got my time to be with Great Spirit, my own process, and the powers of the place. And I'm just opening up and dropping in, and more prayers and gratitude. And in the desert, in that solitude, it does thresh you. And what in our busy, distracted lives back home, we don't have time to attend to, or we deliberately distract ourselves from. Without all those distractions, just being a natural being in the natural world, if there's stuck energy in the pipes, it brought up, the desert brings it up into consciousness. So we get opportunity to see what's in the pipes in terms of fears or negative thought patterns or ways of being or undigested energetic material from situations that pushed our buttons or wounds or whatever. If it haven't been dealt with, it starts to come up. You might say come up from below, from the unconscious, as well as the light and the love and the power and the wisdom coming in from above, and the powers of what's around, the beautiful mountains and boulders. So it's all happening at once, opportunity to work with deepening, expanding, and raising the bandwidths of conscious awareness. So I'm in this working all of this, and it's working me. And then towards the end of the day, Father Sun's going down, and it's getting colder. I'm putting on more clothes and getting ready to eventually. I always wait for the star nations to come out and be able to do prayers with the stars that you can see so beautifully in the clear desert sky, and give thanks and take it all in and connect with Grandmother Moon coming up, and then start to get ready to go into my tent when it gets really, really cold. And then I see one of the questers walking up back into base camp. And so my immediate response is, oh shit, what's going on? Oh man. Number one, my solitude's busted. And obviously there's something happening for the relative, and that's why they're coming back to base camp. I said, if you need to come back to base camp, come back to base camp. And so what happened was, it's such a metaphor, that this person lost their keys. They wanted to get their long johns from their car because they were so cold the night before, but they lost their key. They couldn't find their key. And so we sat down and worked with all of that. And so this was like a coyote trickster, and there's one or two other kind of coyote trickster disruptions of my solitude time that initially push my reactivity buttons, but then give me an opportunity to, no, this is what you're here for. Trust the process. This person is coming in not by accident. There's some medicine work to be done here for both of you, and that's why it's happening. So I sit with this person, and we drop in, and we listen for guidance, and lo and behold, after a period of time, he finds his key. He finds his key. He walked through the desert trying to look for it where he might have dropped it. He had it in the lower pants leg that he forgot he put it in there. So the trickster just tricking, and both of us so relieved he's found his key. He can get his long johns, go back out, and disturbance. Disturbance to what ego wants, another dynamic of being on the quest. And of course, it has applicability in our daily lives. Every day, things happen that disturb or distract or negate what our ego wants, triggers whatever our reactivity patterns are. Out in the desert, nothing else to do except be totally present with my process. I get to see it all. And there's a coyote calling right now on my phone. Forgot to turn it off. Hold on, boys and girls. Don't go nowhere. Yeah. Give me a break. Catch you later. So when you just got to laugh at disturbances, we're talking about disturbances, right? And there's a disturbance. You just got to, I just got to appreciate the orchestration that the Great Spirit does in daily life and all the time. So, all right, let me cut to the chase. Let me check on the time here. Yeah. So, dropping in, listening, feeling, sensing, opening. The quote disruptions to my solitude time are finished, and I get to have the rest of the solitude time relishing in being with my own process of opening deeper, expanding deeper, rising deeper, the bandwidth of consciousness and all the gifts that come in through that. Fast forward to Friday morning and relatives returning from the quest. And I'm always so grateful to see everybody returning safely, because there's no guarantee that people are going to return safely. There are rattlesnakes where we are, there's scorpions where we are, mountain lions come through once in a while, and bears come through once in a while, heat stroke, fall and hit your head on a rock. It's all kinds of possibilities. So every quest, I'm always working with faith and trust and the angels of protection to cover each person and surround each person with a circle of protection. And of course, I never know what happened until I come back. So I'm always eager to see people come back, and very happy and relieved to see everybody coming back in, maybe going real slow and struggling from the fasting and hiking back in from their sight. And hallelujah, they're alive, and praise be. Thank you, angels of protection. And then we spend the day, we break fast and the day to relax. And that evening we sit around Tatewari, Grandfather Fire, that we see so beautifully here in the video that Roger gives us. But for real out there under that beautiful desert, stars-filled sky, we do our sharing and prayers with the sacred pipe of gratitude. And then we get some sleep. And on that last night, my prayer arrow, my guidance was leave the prayer arrow out overnight. Instead of taking it into the tent, leave it out overnight by the rocks that comprise the circle for Tatewari, the home for Tatewari. Just leave it there to gather all that energy, all the kapuri, all the mana it can from this place, because I'm going to be taking this prayer arrow back and using it back home. I have a retreat coming up this weekend, and the daily challenge is using that power, using that arrow to access the gifts of that medicine retreat, vision quest retreat, and use it in my daily life, integrate it, use it. So I leave the arrow out. Now during the whole time we've been there, I need to bring you in a piece of information. There is a black and white pit bull, very friendly pit bull, that lived in a community down the ways, down the valley. And apparently liked our vibration, because this dog would come up and in and out of being in our ceremonies, and would just lie one next to it. Or followed some people into their tents to sleep with them, and followed one person actually when they went out on their questing site, made sure he was okay, and then left, and would sit with us around Tatewari and jump up and bark and try to catch the sparks. So this dog was in and out, a vital part of our vision quest. When everybody was out on the quest, didn't come around me. I think he just wanted to be around the other people. He said, him I can do without. I just want to be with the other people. Anyway, so my solitude time, the dog wasn't there. But that Friday night when we did our giveaway ceremony, he was very present the whole night. I I put my prayer arrow in the rocks, go to sleep in the morning, get up before pre-dawn to be able to do a sunrise ceremony with the relatives, our last day there, and have breakfast and closing ceremony, and then the real work starts. Just like when we take plant medicine, the real work is when we go home. Don't leave the medicine on Vision Quest. Don't leave the medicine at the retreat. Bring it home and use it in your life. So I get up in the morning. First thing, I walk over to my stretches and gratitude for being alive on this day. I walk over to my little seat there by the fire, and I notice my prayer arrow is broken in pieces, and the two eagle feathers that I had attached to that prayer arrow with my intention, my plan to use that arrow for the rest of the year in ceremonies, in retreats. I was going to use that arrow for the rest of the year. That was my plan. But now that arrow's broken in pieces. Most of it's gone. There's just a few little pieces of it there. The eagle feathers are gone. And as soon as I saw that, I laughed out loud. I just totally laughed out loud. And the reason I laughed out loud, because if you think about it for a moment, one of the teachings of the spiritual traditions, of most spiritual traditions, is it's our grasping that produces suffering. It's our attachment to wanting it to the person, the place, and the thing, the situation to be the way I want it to be. My ego wants it to be. And when that's not happening, reactivity, suffering. Mind creates up stories about it. More suffering. So the Buddha was one of the many spiritual teachers who spoke about the importance of letting go of attachment. Letting go of attachment. Spoke about the impermanence of everything you see on the physical plane. It's only here for a period of time, vibrating in a particular pattern that manifests as you, as me, as the rock, as the tree, as the mountain, as the prayer arrow, whatever it is. All impermanent. Let go of attachment. Open up, release, let go to free yourself. So the irony and why I laughed when I saw the broken arrow was the dog's name was, you guessed it, Buddha. That was the name of the dog. It was the Buddha himself, the Bodhisattva herself, manifested in this black and white pit bull that made a dinner of my prayer arrow. So in my laughter, it was a release. It was like, I'm getting the gift of medicine here from Buddha. It's a direct transmission from Buddha. Can't get any better than that. Saying, Tomas, you're getting ready to leave this place of power. You're getting ready to start your integration process. So we're giving you this reminder of let go of attachment to things. Number one, let go of the attachment. Let go of your plans that you had for this arrow. You're dreaming too small. Open up to the bigger dreaming. Let go of whatever rigidity there might be of patterns of behavior, of ways of thinking, of doing that may have served you in the past, but bring mindfulness to see if there's any rigidity there. And part of your integration process is letting go of attachment to things, to plans, to ways of being, and then open. Because if you're letting go of what was, like letting go of the prayer arrow, then there's an opportunity for me to create a new prayer arrow. There's an opportunity for me to access what all of us have access to all the time, is infinite creativity. We all have access to the infinite creative wisdom power in the universe. So Buddha is teaching me, let go of the attachment, open, and new creativity is going to come to you. open up to new ways of being, of new ways of new plans, and in fact open up more to spirit's plan, whatever spirit's plan, like the big winds that busted you to begin with humility and accepting your own foolishness, setting up the tent incorrectly, and the suffering that came, accepting it all, accepting the humanness, accepting the mystery, accepting the distractions, the interruptions, all part of the mystery working of opportunity to help you wake up, let go of attachment, be present and open in the moment to catching the information of whatever waves are happening internally, whatever waves of energy are happening in the field, and how can I do an Aikido move, Aikido, harmonizing with the flow of the universe. How can I create a harmonious relationship, an ally relationship, whatever the waves are manifesting, so I can access that, like the surfer who catches the wave, catch that, make a blend, connect with that bigger power, and use it to help me go where I want to go on a power that's bigger than myself, and enjoy the ride. Thank you, Buddha. And thank you, everyone, for listening to this stream of consciousness, sharing of the medicine teachings and testings that came through me. And we got a few minutes here. I just want to open the doorway and see if there's anything that anybody wants to share that was triggered by what I shared, or Stacy or Wendy, who were on the quest. Anything anybody want to share? Door's open. Just raise your hand if there's anything you want to share. Sister Wendy jumping right in there, raising your hand. You go, girl.
Oh, thank you so much. Nice to see everyone. Well, first of all, Tomas, I didn't know that happened because I left early. So what a treat to hear that.
Oh,
And
that's right. That's right. Yeah, you were sure to leave early.
yeah, so to know Buddha and like, wow, yeah. Um, but I,
Cosmic humor. I mean, you've got to dig the
yeah,
cosmic humor.
yeah. Well, that's, what makes you so wonderful, because the humor is always part of it and helps so much. Um, with the tent, you helped me. You said that these stakes aren't in right, and you got on your hands and knees and helped me with them for like a long time. And the whole time the wind was happening, all I was doing was like having gratitude for you, because my tent definitely would have blown away. So, like, thank you for your wisdom and helping me with that, even though your own wasn't, wasn't right. Like,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, because that was a beautiful night. I felt safe, and it's because you did, yeah, you did it.
And don't tell Josh this, but didn't Buddha come in and sleep with you that first night?
Yeah, you did. The second
Okay.
night. Oh my God, I'm sorry. No,
Cosmic humor. Yeah, cosmic humor. Hey. All right. Anybody else? Anything that wants to be shared through you? Well, you're sharing your being. Yeah, you're sharing your being. So, Brother Don from Illinois, and Mark from Virginia, and Stacy from Reno, and Rio, and Sandy and Marin, and Heidi and Marin, and Wendy and Josh in the city, and Robin in Mexico, and anybody else who's listening and hiding under the covers and who will be listening. Let's just take a moment here in closing and come back to where we started, dropping back down inside into our hearts, breathing out, releasing any energies that don't serve us, creating a little more opening and space for what does serve us. And what does serve us? Opening, receive, love's healing flow, opening, letting it go where it needs to go. And the song from Tatewari, Grandfather Fire Spirit, the song from Father Son, from the event that's taken place 93 million miles away in space, sending Kupuri, photon Kupuri energy to us of intelligence that's communicating. And what does it say? I'm sending you light to help you remember. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. I'm sending you light to help you remember, remember, remember. I'm sending you light to guide your way home. Love is the answer. Love is the key. Love is the healer. Let love flow through thee. Let love flow, Yahweh. I'm sending you light. ¿Por qué? Why send the light? I'm sending you light to help you remember, 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 remember. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. I just received something, an email earlier today from one of the science digests that I get that said, some scientists think the sun is conscious. Totally cracked me up. Father Sun sending energy 93 million miles through space into Tatewari. I'm sending you light to help you remember. I'm sending you light to hold you in love. I'm sending you light to help you remember, remember, remember. I'm sending you light to guide your way home. Love is the answer. Love is the key. Love is the healer. Let love flow through. We let love flow, Yahweh. And may it be so, brothers and sisters. The love is flowing. Make a good home for it. Take good care of yourself. Remember, polish up your stardust. You are sacred, worthy of respect and kindness and celebration and honoring and compassion and tenderness. Luminous being, and you are love, and you are loved, and your love is forgiving and receiving and living it alive in 2025. Vaya con Dios, dinner time. Take good care.